Welcome to day 16 in the Whiskey Advent Calendar. We are back with Wemyss, and we're doing Garden Grove. Jonathan, who created this calendar, he's been blogging this entire journey. He's the one who made the whole thing. And he mentioned something about TTB regulations. I finally looked at it for the first time yesterday. He mentioned something about TTB regulations, meaning that some of the names of these malts weren't legally allowed in the US. They had to change names. But I'm interested. This is a blended malt. And immediately it smells honeyed and citrusy and green apple. There's a little bit of a light pear note to it this time that wasn't in some of the other Spacesides. This is pretty candied smell. We're definitely back into sweet let's be friends categories. Let's see. It's got that same kind of butterscotchy honeysuckle, maybe a little bit of pear, a little bit of apple. Now, you know, one thing that's interesting to me is, even though I'm not a huge fan of Spacesides, I've always thought that if I dedicated myself to only drinking Spacesides for a while, I would finally be able to grasp the inherent super subtlety nuances of the various Spacesides. So, like, for example, if someone just doesn't like smoky scotch, any one of the smoky Islas is going to taste like another one of the smoky Islas, right? So it's like, what's the difference between Lafroig and Ardbeg? Oh, they're both smoky, right? So I feel like I have that sort of novice. I mean, I can get the variations of things. I can tell there's a difference between them, and I can get flavor profiles, but I can often get really close to nailing a specific kind of smoke from Isla and pick which distillery it is. I can't do that with Spacesides. Spacesides, I just haven't lived in them enough. So maybe this calendar is finally giving me the push needed to try to dive into all of the subtleties involved in Spaceside distilleries. Now, this is a blended malt. We don't know how many distilleries are in it, but we do know it's at 46%. So that's interesting. It started out being really just sweet and sugary, but then the alcohol spike is high enough that at the end it just got shiny and sharp and a little more interesting. Instead of just pure sugar, it got really interesting. I'm looking for something other than what I smelled. I'm still tasting the same things I smelled. Oh, the honeysuckle and sweet. There's a little bit of a cut grass kind of green sap slight. Sap is the wrong word because tree sap is just cut grass, like chewing on a blade of grass. In the aftertaste of this. Now, I like the 46% because, this is a guess on why they're doing, I don't know why they're doing what they're doing, but 46 is right around the range when you don't have to chill filter to keep something looking nice and pretty and golden in a glass. And I think it's also a good proof for keeping the alcohol interesting. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. Wow, look at how thick that is. This is a very oily scotch. That's what it is. It's clinging a little bit. I was trying to figure out what was happening in the taste. It was clinging a little bit more than I thought it would. So it's got heavier oils than I expected. Oh. Now there's a little bit of pepper in there. I wonder if there's a lightly peated malt in here. Because once I added the water, the really dense sugars kind of subsided slightly, and a little bit of this black pepper note showed up. It reminds me of Deanston. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah, it reminds me of Deanston 12. And now I'm getting a toffee note in there. Oh yeah. This is, man, I'm just gonna say it. This is treading into Longmorn territory. As in, the thing I love about Longmorn, you guys know I love Longmorn. The thing I love about Longmorn is that it has this rich, buttery kind of thing, but it's got these little peppery notes around the edge of it that keep it interesting and engaging. Man, that's a damn fine flavor. It's the least, man, it's good. I'm struggling with it because my brain won't settle, and I just realized the last time this happened to me was the first time I tried Longmorn 16. My brain wants to go, hey, what is this? Oh, wait, hey, there's something interesting. Oh, I know what this is. No, wait, no, I don't. That's sort of what's happening right now. Yeah, it's subsiding now that the water is starting to settle with the remaining whiskey. You really only get that spice, and now I'm getting kind of a pecan, walnut, waxy aftertaste. There we go. I think I would leave this with no water. I think it wasn't the water that did such a dramatic change, although it did change it. I think it was just that I gave my brain just long enough to settle and engage with what was happening. Try to lose some of my preconceived ideas of where this was headed. I like that one. Well done, Wemyss. Garden Grove Blended Malt Scotch. Until tomorrow, may your crazy stay this side of legal, and may you return before we have time to miss you. Cheers.